Welcome back to the channel. My name is A-Bomb. We are back with Football Manager 2019 and Eastern Resurgence with the Berlin FC Dynamo. And today, we're not going to be playing any matches. We have completed 5 seasons with the club, and there's still going to be plenty more to come. I don't know how long this will go for, but we're going to try and get into the top flight and see how far we can take this. You know what? It's not often that these long-term saves actually end in something for me. I usually end after a few. I think Maidstone, I don't know how many it went on for, maybe 8 or 9 seasons. Palmer, I think, went 10 years, back in like FM, I think 16 I did that. But this one has potential to be my longest series ever. 5 seasons in. We're in the second division. We've just finished season 5. And we got a 7th place finish, which, if you'd have asked me about that at the start of the season, I would have taken 7th any day. Just staying up would have been the original goal. Annoyingly, we were very close to getting that playoff place, which Nuremberg took, but they lost to Eintracht Frankfurt in the playoffs, so they stay in the second division and Frankfurt stay in the Bundesliga. But we lost on the last day to Darmstadt thanks to an own goal. Really, really unfortunate. And if we had just got 1 goal in that match and Brasnic missed a late opportunity, we'd be in that 3rd place spot and maybe vying for a promotion via the playoffs. So painful to sort of miss out by such a small margin, but still a very, very good season. So the reason I'm doing this now is 5 years is a good time to do it. Also, this is a big turning point in the club. As you can see, our balance is now up at like almost £9 million. We got about 10 million in prize money for our finish of 7th place. So this is a massive turning point for the club. We've got money in now. We can start sort of really starting to pay players. We can start spending a lot more. We can increase everything. I've gone to the board and everything that I've been able to improve, I have improved. If we have a look, the data analysis facilities have been completed. We've got an £80,000 scouting budget. Number of scouts increased, as well as physios and coaches. Scouting range, so we can now scout anywhere in the world with no restrictions, so it won't cost us any extra. Youth recruitment, junior coaching, everything that we can improve, we have improved. So yeah, that's going to be hopefully a lot better. It's going to cost us probably about £1 million in total, but I think it's absolutely worth it. Also, if you haven't been keeping up to date in this series, now is a good time to pick it up. But you don't really have to watch the previous 5 seasons if you watch this. I'd rather you did, because it's more views for me. But if you haven't really got the time and you just want a quick catch up, then this is it. We're going to quickly go through our first 5 seasons, go through some of the key players, some of the key areas, and we'll have a proper look at this season as well, and have a look at some proper in-depth analysis and work out what we're doing well, what's not going so well, and what we need to improve for the upcoming season. So let's take you back then to 2018-2019 and our first season of the series, where we're back down in the 4th tier of Germany in the Regionalliga Nordost, the Northeast Regional Division of Germany in the 4th tier, where we finished in 4th place. Dynamo were a little bit up and down. I think 4th place was where they finished last season. We ended up with 59 points, and the record number of draws for the season, 17 draws, more than any other team, and the most of the seasons the league has ever seen. Scoring 46 goals, conceding 32 with a goal difference of plus 14. We didn't have a fantastic start. Our first game that we played was a 5-0 defeat at home to Nordhausen, just a terrible start. But I didn't know the players, and we really didn't have a tactic sorted out. It was the very first competitive match on the save, and it didn't go well. We did win only one of our first 11 games, I think it was. But from the 1st of September, we went unbeaten for the rest of the season, despite not picking up too many wins, and it was a lot of draws. We had a very, very long unbeaten run that stretched a little bit into our second season as well. So that's what put us as high as we were. I think if we'd lost a lot more matches, we'd have been a lot further down. But yeah, we had a really, really long unbeaten run. So looking at our team back then, Bernhard Händel has been with us the whole time. He's played all 5 seasons for us and has, for the most part, been fantastic. He's pulled off saves. He's really kept us in some matches. He's saved us from some embarrassing results. He's been fantastic for 5 years. The one criticism I have of him is that in 5 seasons, he's not saved a single penalty. every penalty that we've faced, which isn't too many, I don't think we faced a lot of penalties, they've all been converted. None of them have even been missed, I don't think. They've not even missed the target, but Hendel has yet to save a penalty this series. The defence is very different to what it is today. Joshua Silva, though, was with us for a little while and hasn't long left. But he was in this team with a Freetzer at right back, again, another player that has not too long left. But the centre-backs are very, very different. Malambana and Matula, the two best centre-backs. Matula has now retired. At the age of 36, he retired, and he went to the Czech Republic, to Znojmo, after playing for us, and played there a couple of seasons, and is now retired. David Malambana is still playing at 28 years old, plays for Biskopswerda, who are in the 5th tier, the North East South Division, which is the 5th tier, so that's below where we were. Freach just signed for RAF now after being released by us at 31. Played a handful of games for them, hasn't done too well. Joshua Silva was signed on a pre-contract by Freyamundi in Portugal, and for them, he's played a decent number of games, but hasn't played especially well for them. Nicholas Brandt was a player that I really liked in our first season. We had him on loan, I think, for a year from... we signed him from Victoria, excuse me. He went to Osnabrück as we really couldn't tie him down. His wage demands were a little bit out of our reach. So he's gone to Osnabrück, and he's been a pretty solid player for them for 4 seasons now. I wonder if he's still going to be good for us. He looks pretty well-rounded. I wonder if he can do a job, but he's 31, so... maybe not, but a good player at the time. I don't know what he'd be like now, but at the time, he was probably one of our best players, if not our best player. Eric Majacek was a player that we had on loan for a couple of seasons from our affiliate Leipzig, and for us, he was a good midfielder. He got a goal, he got 3 assists, and we tried to get him back for another season, but he wasn't interested, even getting him for that season. He joined in January, and it took 3 different loan offers for him to finally secure him and say, okay, I'll join you for half a season. And he had a good half season for us. Lionel Salah's been in the team for a whole time. We have just ended his contract. He was on a non-contract for a while. He was actually on loan for 1 season from Babelsberg. We signed him on a free transfer, but it was on a non-contract, so he wasn't getting paid any money for all these years, and we've let him go. So the fact that he's played with us for nothing for all that time, it's brilliant, because you know what, he doesn't care about money, which is good. He's never actually asked for a contract. We've never offered him one, and we've sent him on his way. He's been a good servant for a few years as Lionel Salah, and he's a free agent now. Patrick Twardzik on the left hand side has retired at 28 years old. Left us in 2021, so I don't know how long after he left us. What was it? Was he just a free agent for a while? We can't even look at his history. We should have kept it, really. But he's retired. Azemi and Brasnic have been the best strikers that we've had throughout this thing. Azemi had a bit of a goal drought, but signed him. It may have been in the January again on a free transfer from he was from Nordhausen. And he had an alright career for us, did the Kosovo, and he got a decent number of goals for a player that didn't start every single match. He did well, and last season he went back to Kosovo and played for Pristina. But for us, he had a good career, and he got a good number of goals. Brasnic was top scorer, and he's still here today. Him and Hendel are the only mainstays, I think, from the first team, from the original team. I think they're the only the players that have stayed behind. Brasnic has scored the majority of our goals, but Azemi hasn't been too far behind, and Twardzik with 6 as well. I think behind Brasnic, apart from Azemi, there's not really been a player that's got a massive number of goals for us, and I think that is the only issue that we have, is that we don't have a lot of goals behind Brasnic. We don't get a lot from midfield or from out wide, and very rarely from defenders. Pascal Schederman, I believe we had on loan for a long time. Yeah, he was on loan for 3 consecutive seasons. And started off well, got a 6.93 in the second season, but then didn't play too well after that and lost his space and went back to Magdeburg, where he's doing all right this season, actually. 6 goals and 7 assists for a right back. That's actually incredible. On to season 2, where we had our second season in the 4th tier. And again, the unbeaten run stretched a little bit into this season, but then we lost 2-0 to Halle away from home. But had a much, much better season, and I think finished... I wouldn't say we won it. I think we did finish top and got promoted, because I think it's only the winner that can get promoted, so we did. Didn't start too well, once again. We had a solid start, but yeah, just never really tied down a big run of form until we got to the new year, and then we had a nice unbeaten run here. Chemnitz the only blemish, but losing only one match in probably about 11 or 12 games. So at the end of the season, we did really, really well. We finished top, winning by a single point in the end, beating Chemnitz, who have just got promoted themselves to our division, to the second division. And yeah, we won by a point that year. New additions to the team here. Shedham made it to the first team. Philip Bloom and Burham Halili joined this season. Bloom is still here, but is going to be going at the end of this contract, so he's going to be on his way out. As is Halili. Centre-back is going to get a complete upheaval over the summer. Both Bloom and Halili are going to be going. But they've been good servants for a few years. Halili, despite not having a massive rating, has actually played pretty well for us, so might be worth maybe keeping him around for another year, because he might not have a good ability, but he's been a solid player for us. Dragan Urkic joined us, the left winger, who again is still here and is going to be here for one more season. He didn't do amazingly this year, got 4 goals, and did take a while to get going again. But he had an extension clause, so he's here for one more season, and then he will probably go after that. But Urkic has been a good player for us over the seasons, averaging 6.93, and yeah, he's done well. 11 assists in that 2021-22 season is good. So yeah, he's done well for us, and yeah, he's been a good servant. Max Kolk joined us, another player that we had on loan for a while from Dynamo Dresden, was on loan for 3 seasons and did well. A decent sort of playmaker option. Never scored a great number of goals, but set up a few and was overall a pretty solid player. Nad McConnell joined us, the Ethiopian who is still with us. Again, a solid player. Picks up quite a lot of cards, but for a ball midfielder, that's expected. He's been very solid for us for the 4 seasons we've had him. Seaman also joined us this season. He plays for Victoria now, so he has moved across Berlin. Again, never really nailed down a first team spot, but the games that he played in, he was alright. He didn't do too badly at all. Dalek Dari joined us this year, who is still here and has been added on for 1 more year. So he's going to be very much a backup option for left back. We're going to go out and sign a really, really good left back, hopefully. But Dari's played well. He's done actually pretty good for himself and played at centre back when he's needed to as well. He's been very solid. Max Winter had a spell with us on loan from Leipzig. Now plays for Braunschweig after joining them for free. But has been a good midfield option. Plays sort of in place of McConnell sometimes. And for a couple of seasons we had him. Started off well, but the second season we had him didn't really do great. 6, 7, 9, very average. Kai Kleiner also joined us here. We actually paid money for him, £19,500. Pretty failed signing if you ask me. Started off, he got some goals, but for a striker, I'm expecting a lot more from him than what we got. He got 8 goals for us over the seasons. Had a massive goal drought. Sent him on loan to Babelsberg for the second half of the season, and he got 7 goals in 13 appearances. So he's doing well. Back down in the 4th tier, maybe 3rd and 2nd tier is just a bit too much for him. Then we had our first season in the 3rd tier in the Dritte Liga, where we started off horribly and did not win in our first 7 matches, but then pushed on a bit, got some good results in September and October. Again, had a little bit of a winless run. Came back after the winter break though, and yeah, we were okay. We ended really, really badly. We won 1 of our last 7 games, which in the end cost us our top half finish. I think we finished 14th in the end. I'll have to have a look. But for a first season in the 3rd tier, I thought we did really, really well. It was actually 12th place that we finished in, so higher than I expected. 48 points in the end, a goal difference of -10. Yeah, we ended pretty badly, so we were a little bit higher up, but yeah, the way that we ended the season wasn't good at all. So that's why we finished the way we did. Tim Kircher joined us at this point, a very solid right back who's still with us and will be for the foreseeable future one of our better players. Signed for £41,500. Adrian Mittelstadt, this was the season that he really broke through. We signed him on a free from Union Berlin. And he played because we had a lot of injuries and suspensions in midfield, especially for McConnell and Winter. We're picking up a lot of cards, yellow and red. So Mittelstadt deputised for us quite a bit, and he really, really impressed. He ended up starting 13 games, got 5 goals, 2 assists, and 1 man of the match 4 times. Since then, he's not played because we haven't had the same problems that we had with injuries and suspensions. So he didn't get as much game time in our past couple of seasons. 5 goals in that one season shows what he can do. His current overview, he has still got, I think, 4-star potential. He has. So I think he can still do a job. Some of his physicals and mentals are very, very good. Technically, just lacking a little bit. Bilal Kamari joined us at this stage as well. Got 4 goals for us that season. He's going to be leaving at the end of the season. He hasn't really impressed in our last couple of seasons. We haven't really created a lot. Like our wingers don't get a great deal of assists. They tend to come more from midfield and linking up between the strikers more than anything. So what I'm looking for in the upcoming season is just a little bit more from our wide play, because as a team that plays wing play, if our wingers aren't creating stuff, then we're not going to get goals. Again, this was a season where Brasnitz and Azemi got the lion's share of the goals. After them, we really struggled and didn't get many more goals from any other players. Michael Schlick joined us this season, signed for £30,000 from Bautzen. I think he's going to go at the end of the season. He barely played in this past season. He started 10 matches. Didn't do amazingly. 695 is a decent rating, but I don't know. I just feel like we can definitely improve on him. Maybe worth keeping him on for another year just as a backup, but we'll have to wait and see. If there's some good players out there, then I'll definitely buy. But we need to keep some of these players around just for cohesion's sake. I don't want an entirely new squad because it'll take a long time to gel. So maybe it's a good idea to keep some of these guys. We'll have to have a look. Then move on to Season 4, where we got promoted from the Dritter Liga, finishing, I want to say, second. Started off very, very well. We had an incredible start to this campaign, winning our first 7 games before losing to Dortmund 2. But we tended to go on these little runs before getting a little hiccup. So we go about 6 or 7 unbeaten, and then we'd lose a silly match. And then, yeah, again, February, we won all of our matches. And we had a little bit of a blip sort of late March, early April, but then ended strongly and gained promotion to the second division. Anton Brucker joined us this season. I think he was a loanee. Yes, from Liefering in Germany, apparently. And he is now playing in Australia, of all places. That's an interesting choice of career for Brucker, playing for Brisbane Roar. He was a very solid defender for us, got a goal and a couple of man-of-the-match appearances. And yeah, he was one of our better defenders throughout. We've had some bad ones, but past couple of seasons, our defending has been absolutely on point. And Ruka, one of the best players to come out of that defence. Marco Greusel joined us, and I think is still, yeah, we're trying to get him on a contract, but he's really pushing for a bit of a wage hike. So we can pay it. It's just, do we want to? I think we do. Yeah, I think Greusel is going to stay, so we're just going to try and get his contract tied down. He's got a couple of weeks left of it, so there is time. But he's been all right for us this season. 5 assists, one of the better creators out wide. He got 5 assists last season as well. A few goals tied in there as well. So Greusel, I think we'll keep on for another year at the very least. Tomasevsky has been on loan for a couple of seasons. Not done too well this season. I'm not going to loan him again for another year. But the first season we had him, he was good. He got a couple of goals. And was a decent sort of defensive midfield option, like a balling midfielder. This was a season that Brasnitz was at his best. He got 24 goals in 35 appearances. Mark Brasnitz has been Mr. Consistent this series. 5 seasons in, and every single time he scored at least 15 goals, getting 16 this year. And from the 4th tier up to the 2nds, he's done it every year. And we're going to try and hold on to him for the Bundesliga, for the top flight, and see if he can do it again. But he's coming close to the end of his run now. 26 though, still got plenty of time. And he's still pretty young. He's fairly ambitious as well. And his ability is still alright. 3-star current ability. We can definitely get at least another good year out of him, I think. If he can get double figures again, fantastic. If we can get him up to the Bundesliga, brilliant. 24 goals from Brasnitz. Again, not a lot from anyone else. Urkic did okay this year with 7. Oltrichter got 6, who was a striker we had on loan from Hansa Rostock. Yes, 6 goals from 14 appearances, but then I think got injured. He was alright for us. We'll have a bit more of a look at this, maybe a bit more in depth, but we'll see how we finished. Of course, 7th place, we know that, and yeah, did really, really well. Looking at our fixtures, we had an incredible start, winning 4-0 at home against Regensburg, of course, our first season in the second division. But then after that, we did struggle to pick up wins and had a little bit of a poor run. And yeah, again, just before Christmas, we didn't do well. We only won 5 games sort of in the first half of the season. A few draws again, but but the second half of the season we reached a new gear. We got loads of wins. We had an unbeaten run of I think 10, maybe 11 matches, maybe longer. I don't quite know. But that was fantastic. So before I leave you, what we're going to do is we're going to have a bit of a more in-depth look at the past season and see what's going well, what's not going too well, and see sort of what we need to work on for the next season, because this is the most important transfer window I think we'll ever have. We've got money to spend and we've got loads of wages. So I think this is going to be our most important transfer window. We're going to have a look in depth at, how this team's doing. So our average possession is just over 50%, which is fine. That's really, really good. Pass completion is all right. Percentage of pass completed, 79%, which I think is pretty good. Headers won, we're about middle of the road. I would like to see some more of that from our defenders because, we don't win a lot of headers. We defend well, sort of like on the ground, like making tackles and stuff, I think. But we're not too good in the air. Set pieces, we can see a fair few, I think. So that's definitely where we need to improve. Just get a few sort of maybe bigger centre-backs to try and get some better headers, better defenders. In terms of ratio, though, 61% of our headers we have actually won. Despite not having a great deal, we've won a fair few of them. So that's maybe not as bad as it looks. Yellow cards, we are right up there. 75 yellow cards of the season is the second most, but I think the way we play, that's expected. In terms of goals scored, again, we're about middle of the road, 45 goals scored. Cross completion ratio is at 13%, again, sort of in the middle. In terms of actual crosses completed, we're just above average, I think. Set piece goals, 2 goals from corners, 4 from direct free kicks, and just the 1 from an indirect free kick. So set pieces, not terrible, but could be better. Chance creation, 61 chances created is 4th most in the league, which is, again, I think that's pretty good. That's good. As long as we're sort of in the top half for these, I think that's good. Shots on target ratio, we are actually top. 53% of our shots have been on target. I think that's good. And in terms of how many shots on target we've actually had, 190, again, about in the middle. That's all right, but we're not having as many shots as our opponent. Fouls against, we are rock bottom. We are not fouled nearly as much as everyone else. I guess we're doing more of the fouling. Defending, we have the 3rd best defensive record in the league, conceding 34 goals. That's good. Set piece goals, we've conceded 3 goals from corners. We've conceded no goals from direct free kicks, and we've conceded 4 from indirect free kicks. So again, not terrible, but not great again. Clean sheets, we're good. 13 clean sheets for the season. That's pretty good. I think Hendel's done well there. Fouls made, 470. We are sort of above average for that. Tackles won, 547, about average, just below average. But the ratio of tackles won, we're good. We're 88%, so we're high on that one anyway. I think we'll leave it there. I don't want to delve too much into it because I don't want to make this a really boring video that's just about stats and stuff. I don't always enjoy those. Sometimes it's good to see, what's going well, but at the same time, you want to make it an enjoyable video. So apologies that there's not going to be a game today, but I thought now is as good a time as any to have a look at how we're doing, to have a bit of a look back and a recap. So if you are new to the series, you can pick it up here and go back and watch the other stuff if you want to, but it will be spoiled for you. But if you do just want to pick up, then now is a good time to start. So I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, do drop a like down below. Let me know if you want to see more stuff like this. If we get to 10 seasons, I'll probably do this again and have another sort of look, but I won't make it too often. I don't want to sort of bog you down with like just talking. I don't always think that's a good thing, but every now and then I think it can be important. Do drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, leave comments, and if you want to see videos as and when listing up on YouTube, do hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to receive updates if I upload or go live, and follow me on social media so you don't miss any of my content. Next time we will crack on with season 6 proper, and our second season in the Zweite Bundesliga, and there's going to be a lot of transfers. I would put them all in one video, but I do want to play a game next time. I don't want to do 2 videos without a game, so it might be a bit of a long one, but we'll have transfers, we'll have a match, we'll go through the pre-season stuff briefly as well, but I'll try and cut it a little bit more than I usually do, because the amount of transfers I think there's going to be, I think it might end up being a long video, so I might sort of cut it down a bit more than I usually would, but we'll see. We'll have a look, and next time, season 6, we'll find out who we're going to face, we'll see who we're going to bring in, but for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.